It's another Wednesday with your fertility specialist. I'm your host, Ruth Ogogo, for this show this evening, rather this afternoon. And it's always a pleasure to be with you guys every Wednesday. On behalf of Alps Hospitals, we love to say a very big thank you to our dear viewers. Thank you for liking our post. Thank you for always staying glued to your screen. Thank you for sharing. Yes, right now, as we starting, please share this link with someone, call up someone. And like I would always say, if you need to send it out to someone right now, this is really important. So you call up your brother and your sister, call up your loved ones. Like the topic says, family and fertility. So please call up as many people that you could call up right now. Share this link with as many people as you can so everyone gets the information we're about to talk about today. And to talk about family and fertility, yes, we have an amazing guest with us today, Dr. Kenneth Eguda. Hmm. For our regular viewers, I know you're familiar with Dr. Ken, but for the sake of someone watching for the first time, Dr. Ken is a consultant gynecologist. He's a fertility specialist and a very, very good IVF specialist at that. He's also a minimal access surgeon. He's the first African to have pioneered laser gynecological surgeries in Nigeria. And that's in the whole of, not just Nigeria, now Africa as a whole. But I'm just mentioning Nigeria as one of the African countries. Yeah. So it's good to have you, Dr. Ken. Dear viewers, once again, please share this link right now as we get started. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your questions in the comment section. We'll be very glad to see what you think as we proceed with this session this afternoon. We're talking about family and fertility, Dr. Ken. This
Nice.
topic, it brings a lot to mind when you talk about family and fertility. And if we look at it from this point, you have some family members that would mount pressure on their on family members. Okay, struggling with fertility, do this, have you tried this? And it puts a lot of them under pressure. There are some that would want to assist in one way or the other, while some are mounting pressure, some would want to assist. And then it brings to mind, recently I had a friend that was discussing with me, and she was like that her other sister has been battling with fertility for about 15 years, and I think she said she has tried IVF up to 4 times, and she was told that air quality is a problem. And she loves her sister so much, and her sister is struggling with coming to terms to dealing with a donor probably that she does not know.
Mhm.
So she's proposing to donate her eggs for her sister to try to do IVF. That's like a family member now wanting to donate eggs for her elder sister to maybe achieve pregnancy. And I was like, whoa, what kind of love is that you don't mind? I just wonder. It keeps me wondering. Well, when she said that, I felt it was something emotional. So I thought it would be good if we could talk about it on this platform to get your view, as this is your field, and I know that you have a lot of experience with people. You see a lot of these clients, and you see a lot of them with their concerns. What do you think about it? I'm sure you also have experience to
Yeah,
share.
most times I see cases like this,
Hmm. Hmm.
very regular basis. I mean, I see cases like this. Um, Usually, when you get to the issue of dealing with egg donation, oocyte donation in
Yeah.
an IVF treatment cycle, people wonder about the genetic connection,
Hmm.
you know, and so for a good number of people, as against accepting an anonymous egg donor
Yes.
or a donor from a egg bank somewhere that you don't have any connections with, to
Yes.
create an expanding genetic variability. They
Yeah.
want some genetic ties, and
Mm.
so when that becomes an issue of concern, they want a close family member to
Remember.
donate
Hmm.
these gametes for them. Except
Wow.
of course
Hmm.
if there are laws in the land prohibiting it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because there's some genetic similarities definitely
Them.
between siblings, and so it will just be an offspring from the same family lineage, even
Wow.
though a sister is giving her eggs to another
No, my
sister.
sister.
I see it as sacrifice, though.
Okay, cool.
Yes, as a social sacrifice. And it may not be without problems sometimes, so long as it's okay if that's done, if the
Hmm.
eggs are okay, and if this person is young in a situation where you could donate eggs.
Okay.
It's okay for that to be
So,
acceptable, but the attending physician or the clinic should make sure they
yeah.
sign all the legal documents
I
that
was
they
just
need
going
to
to ask
sign.
if there are some
Yeah.
laws by
Yes, they should sign some
because
legal documents, you know, uh, transferring the sole ownership of the eggs to
mm,
the recipient of the egg, because things change. We've
yeah,
had stories of things that have changed when some of those things are done before, and where no good legal documentations and transfer of ownership of eggs,
yeah.
were done. So you avoid a future problems.
Mm.
So for
Wow.
me, I think I don't see that.
Because this is me just thinking in my head. Even though let's assume this person carries this pregnancy, and yes, tomorrow, what if this child turns out to be president of the country?
Yeah.
So this is me just thinking how this they would handle it, and how they would.
The truth is that some of these things sometimes definitely will have some social implications. Okay,
Mm,
because if you have your eggs as a baby in someone else's family,
yeah,
and then the child becomes a governor or a president
yeah.
or an influential person in
Mm,
society, you know um
wow.
for me, if the legal documentations are done rightly, I know legally you have no link to the child or
Mm,
something. But the issue is different if you're dealing with this in some other countries, because
yeah,
in some other countries, for instance, in the Western countries, European
yes.
countries, the child get to a stage where you
And they want to know.
disclose everything to the child. So the child
Yeah.
knows
Who
who
did?
his genetic
Oh
parents really are.
goodness, it's
So
tough.
that's where the problem may actually
Yes.
come, in
Mm.
this situation, and you
Wow.
deal with whatever comes with it.
Hmm.
If you decide to get attached to them,
Hmm.
then it's a
Wow.
problem, you know. And this goes on with all case of egg donation, for instance.
Wow.
Yeah, where the child demands for his genetic
Well,
connections,
yeah.
and then you have to tell.
Wow.
And
Hmm.
that is, but in some other society, you don't bother telling,
Hmm.
and that information stays with
With
you,
them.
and so
Hmm.
whatever works for you, it's okay. But of course, the social challenges is that if you are the one who donates the egg to some other person, and you're now wallowing in penury, and then
Yeah,
the
like oh
person
my
becomes a
goodness. So you
governor.
just keep watching from a distance.
Yeah, but of
Oh.
course, if it's still a family, you should find a way to make things okay for the person, for the
Hmm.
other person. That's what I
Hmm.
think. That's what I think. So for me, this is actually not bad.
Hmm.
I can identify with that kind of situations,
Situation.
because you can't have everything, and you can't
Yes,
have it
that's
all your
right.
ways. Because if you want to have it all your way, why don't you even have good eggs?
Hmm. No.
And then all of this is telling that women should actually look at ways of freezing their
Yeah,
eggs, so all of these
eggs.
things
That's
don't just
true.
happen.
Happen.
There was a big post by Tiwa Savage
Hmm.
talking about egg donations.
Okay.
She's thanking God that Tiwa Savage is a Nigerian
Musician.
musician, one of
Yes.
the
Hmm.
most renowned Nigerian female
Musician.
musicians,
Yes.
artists. She was advising young ladies to
Okay.
consider freezing their eggs,
Hmm.
so they can make demands on their eggs
When they
later
need them.
and use them for fertility treatments,
Treatment.
as against going to have egg donation.
Hmm.
So there's
So.
nothing bad about that.
Hmm.
Yes, there's nothing really, really bad about
Bad.
that. Because for me, I think if you can take an adopted child, for
Yeah,
instance, that
that's
has no
true.
genetic connection to
Connection.
you,
Yes.
you can as well take an egg donor, or a sperm donation.
Donation.
Yeah, I've seen brothers who want to donate sperm to their
Sure.
brothers,
Oh
for
wow.
instance. Yeah, I've
Oh.
seen brothers
Hmm.
who want to donate sperm for their
For the
brothers.
men, I think that's stronger because in a way the woman will still feel connected because she carries the pregnancy. But this one now, the man
Yeah.
really
Hmm.
you donate and then someone the wife of your brother is carrying the pregnancy. I'm like, what role does this man? You just keep looking at your
You
wife
know, yeah. Hmm.
carrying a
So
baby with your brother's sperm and all of that.
this is
Wow.
actually tough part of fertility decisions to make,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I remember at some point a client I once knew was going to take sperm donation,
Hmm.
anonymous sperm donation, of course. And he called me out, you know, on a certain evening. I mean, a
Hmm.
phone call. I was like, Ken, do you know what this really means? And I mean, for me, throughout my profession, at least that particular night, I took time to think about it.
Benefits.
He said, Ken, do you know what it means for me seeing somebody walking across my
Hmm.
face in my house? And then I realized that it wasn't my sperm. What feeling does it
Hmm.
give me?
Hmm.
You know, I know it's not a good feeling, but then what
Yeah.
options do you have?
That's
Would you
another thing.
rather have stayed
Without a child.
without a child? You
Mm,
know, so I think these are all things that can
have to.
socially be managed, you
Mm,
know, psychologically, emotionally, socially managed. If you could take an adopted child, adopted I mean baby, you know,
yeah,
and then you could also um take whichever donation of
donation.
garment comes your way.
While I was also praying for this, I had to take out time to really go through these various ways that family members try to support. And then I read this story online of a couple that's okay. I think the woman was the one in question that had been battling with fertility. I think her husband didn't seem to have much problem, so she had done IVF and she had failed
Hmm.
based on what the story had said. And so she has a sister-in-law that has given birth to four children.
Hmm.
So the sister-in-law, according to her, then she said her sister-in-law had volunteered that she doesn't mind carrying pregnancy for her. And I was like, this is even sister-in-law. This is not even like a
In fact,
direct
in fact,
fam.
I
Wow.
had a recent situations like this, like 3 to 4 weeks ago. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, about 3 weeks ago, you know,
Hmm.
consulting here in Nigeria, you know, and
Wow.
a sister came and paid for a consultation to see me, you
Wow.
know. Yeah, and then I was thinking she came in with a baby. I mean, a
Hmm.
baby
So you're wondering.
should be like 3 years old, you know, and but then she had two other kids, so they are about three altogether, you know.
Hmm.
And then she was like, okay, I want to consult for my sister. I
Wow.
was like, okay,
Hmm.
now what's going on with your sister? And by the way, you know, after talking with her and having a talk with the entire family, I asked them, do you mind if I would talk about this story on my platform or on any platform that this story is requested without
Yeah.
necessarily telling your identities,
Hmm.
just that the public would understand and see what challenges people go through
Go
and what
through.
decisions. They say, yeah,
Yeah.
they gave me the permission
To talk
to
about
talk
it.
about
Wow.
it. So
Wow.
now, who is this person? She's a lady, a
Hmm.
young lady in her middle 30s. No,
Okay.
no, late 30s,
Hmm.
about 37, 38.
Okay.
You know, and then she had completed her family size as far as she's concerned.
Okay.
You know, but then her elder sister
Yeah.
was married elsewhere in Nigeria
Hmm.
and has been having a lot of fertility problems. They've had a
Wow.
couple of IVF treatments,
Hmm.
you know, and they were not successful.
Wow.
And then she now told me she wants to be a surrogate for
Yeah.
her
Just
elder sister.
wow. This is not different from what I even.
Exactly. So
Wow.
this was right in my office, you know. And
Wow.
usually when I hear these
Hmm.
things, I don't turn people down. I want to
Yeah.
hear the entire story,
Story.
you
Wow.
know. And the reason is this: we have what we call the female reproductive rights.
Hmm.
An individual, a female, can decide how she wants to get pregnant. One of the commandments or one of the reproductive rights, a woman can be pregnant anytime.
Okay.
She can decide how she wants to get pregnant,
Oh
with
wow.
whom she wants to get
Get
pregnant,
pregnant. Hmm.
and it's solely her decisions.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Okay.
we who are gynecologists is, I mean, had this as one of our teachings and trainings, so we
Hmm.
don't discriminate.
Hmm.
So in her case now, she wants to carry this pregnancy for her sister, and
Hmm.
you don't even know the conditions attached.
Wow.
In the first place, she said the sister had been diagnosed with some pathology in the uterus. Now, she is a lay person, so she couldn't tell the depth of the pathology,
Pathology, okay.
but I was wishing that I could see the
See the
sister
sister.
myself and evaluate the sister and see, because yeah, you're meeting a gynecologist like me who has who deals with the uterus as if I'm part of those who created the uterus. I
Yeah.
really needed to know what's
What
up with the uterus,
exactly? Going to
because
get to that
and
point.
what kind of treatment she really has had that haven't succeeded, in case she can still
Yes.
carry pregnancy by
Pregnancy
herself. I needed to see what her partner's sperm
was
was
like
like,
too.
what, even if her eggs are not okay, but then she could do egg donation and all
Donation,
of that.
yes.
But like they have gotten reached a conclusion
Hmm.
that she wants that she wants to be the surrogate. In fact, she wants to donate her eggs to her
Wow.
sister. And now that got to me.
Wow. Oh,
That
wow.
got to me. I was
That's
like,
like a
okay,
biological
oh yes.
surrogate.
He said she wants to donate her eggs for her sister, and then she wants to carry the
Same
pregnancy for her sister. I was
pregnancy.
like, hold on.
Wow.
I said, this
Wow.
technically means this baby is not your sister's.
Yeah, because
It biologically means this baby is
it's yours.
yours,
Yeah.
and you're just getting pregnant with your
Sister's
in-laws sperm.
sperm. Correct.
She said,
Wow.
yeah, she's okay with that.
Hmm.
She said, I don't know what her sister means to her. Then she
Hmm.
went on narrating
Oh, no.
that they grew up with a very tight bond with her
Yeah.
sister.
Oh,
As
no.
she was telling her story, she was
She was
crying in the
crying.
office. It
Oh,
became
no.
emotional for me. She said
Hmm.
they have good bond with the sister, and the
Hmm.
sister has been suffering
Hmm. Okay.
for lack of child. In fact, she told me that the baby she has, she wants to give one of her own children to her
Hmm.
sister,
Okay.
if that will make her sister happy.
Such
And there's
love
nothing
and
she can't do for her
sacrifice.
sister. I was like, okay, this is
Wow.
now a very tough story
Tough.
to listen to,
Yeah.
you know. But I would say, okay, for instance,
Hmm.
if you get pregnant with your egg, I mean, using your egg
Yeah.
and your sister's husband's sperm,
Sperm. Yeah.
and then you give the baby to your sister, and
Hmm.
the child becomes president of the country tomorrow. How do you look at that? Of
Oh.
course, it became a laughing matter. We laughed
Hmm.
about it because you don't want to go lay claim on what you have given out already, because
Yes,
you're going to sign
exactly.
off these arrangements you're
Yeah.
donating. So now the ethics and the legality of a sister donating eggs to her sister and carrying the pregnancy for her sister
Exactly.
is a
That's
very
extreme.
complicated. Assisted
Yes.
reproduction technology has a
Hmm.
lot of wahala in it.
Oh, I can
Has a
imagine.
lot of wahala in it.
Hmm. That's a
So
lot.
she was going to do that, and I said, okay now, but your ex is not actually going to be the best egg because you're 38,
Hmm.
and
Quality.
so the quality may be an issue.
Hmm.
But then it doesn't mean you can't use your eggs for pregnancy, but the chances is just going to be a little lower,
No.
because the older you get, the poorer your eggs and all of that. So we're in the process, want to check what the quality of these eggs look like and
Oh
all of that.
no.
Right there, she called her sister
Hmm.
on a phone call and joined the consultation.
Wow.
And sister was okay with everything.
Hmm.
And she was shedding tears while talking. She said that's
Hmm.
how close they were.
Wow, wow, that's a lot. I can imagine. So, this is really when I saw that story online, I was like, wow, someone even would volunteer to carry pregnancy. I just
Mhm,
feel like, how do you look at this child? Like, okay, maybe tomorrow they're raising a child. Would they even
mhm,
get to open up and say, this is the person that nurtured you? I couldn't carry you in the
mhm.
period of
Oh, sure.
pregnancy. I dare some. Because I was also going to ask if there are some laws, but I know you're already talking about ethics. Are there some laws surrounding this? What's your counsel like now with your experience with this client? What would you think their best bet would be if she's still insisting on
By the way, the
carrying
story
the
is not over yet.
pregnancy?
Let
Oh
me tell you
goodness.
what happened essentially.
Hmm.
So I now asked her, this decision you're making, are
Yeah.
you making the decision alone?
Hmm.
It's your husband. Now the sisters, the sister who wants to, then I asked her, how
Yes.
about your husband? What is his position in this business?
Yes.
She said the husband is happy with it.
Hmm.
Well, do you mean your husband is really happy with this?
Wow.
You see, here's the husband. They've discussed about it. The husband is happy
Hmm.
with it. And now requested,
Yeah.
get me your husband
Wow.
and let's have a joint consultation with him. The guy came into the office
Hmm.
and asked him what's going on. He narrated the same thing.
Wow.
And his own side of the story is even more emotional
Wow.
than the sister, than his wife, the sister's story. He said he's willing to even donate his sperm to make,
This
if that makes his wife happy for her sister
to be
to be
pregnant.
pregnant. I
Wow.
like, come on, man. I've not heard this in
Wow.
my entire career. You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
yes.
Hmm.
There's some graphic things
That
he said I
bond.
can't even mention here. He said he's willing, he said he has seen his wife worried about her sister and is
Wow.
willing to support his wife on
All
any
through.
move
Hmm.
to assist her sister to be pregnant, even if she has to use her egg or use his own
His own
sperm,
sperm.
or
Wow. Just
or
to achieve pregnancy.
for a sister to achieve
Yes.
pregnancy. Oh man, this is
Wow. That's
actually a tough one.
extreme. Hmm.
It's a tough one. Now ask him. I wasn't satisfied with the answer.
Hmm.
I said, sir, do you really know what you are talking about? You're going to wake up in the morning
Hmm.
and you see your wife pregnant, and knowing that she's pregnant for some other person in your house.
Hmm.
How do you see that?
Wow.
Have you taken time
To
to
process it.
reason and process all of this? Then I got him at that point.
Hmm.
He said, well, he knows that he may not have processed everything, but he has given his permission. And when that time comes, whatever it is, he will deal with it. I say, come on, man. This is
Hmm.
actually sounds
Really
like
deep.
sacrifice.
Wow.
How far can you go
Exactly.
helping someone to get pregnant?
Pregnant.
When they said they were willing to give their baby,
Hmm. That's you just knew that
I know that this
they
is
could
this is
they could just
beyond
yes,
this is beyond
exactly.
what
Wow.
we think we are dealing with.
Yes. Kai, kai.
And
Wow.
she was shedding tears in the consulting
Oh my
room. I was
goodness,
like,
this
man,
is
this is
extreme. What
actually a
people have
very
to deal
serious
with.
matter. So bottom line, they're going on with their treatment, but I think the
Yes.
twist to it is that for the sake of increasing the chances of success, they're
Yes.
looking at using an egg donor. For
Okay.
me, that
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 makes it
that makes
easier
more
to
easier to
tolerate.
tolerate,
Yes.
than thinking otherwise.
Yes.
But she
Wow.
was willing to do
Hmm.
everything.
Wow.
you know
So,
so
dear
this is like
viewers,
sacrificing your life for someone.
yes, yes. So why some family members try to pull down other family members and try to throw stones at them? Some people are willing to do
Yes,
anything,
willing to do
sacrifice
anything.
anything and
Hmm.
whatsoever it
Hmm.
takes to just see that they are able to put smile on their other family
You don't even know
members.
what happened.
Hmm.
Now, still in this same treatment,
Yeah.
this particular lady came to the hospital with one of her own sisters again, who was
Oh.
also in support of this decision.
Wow, it's a family thing.
The
They've
family thing.
concluded.
And the husband was so
Wow.
amicable,
Oh.
so amicable, happy, excited to
Hmm.
take that decision. I
Hmm.
keep feeling that he was ignorant, that he
Hmm.
doesn't know what he's going
Going
into,
to
and all of
wow.
that. But all the same,
Hmm.
he felt happy about that.
Wow.
He really felt happy about that. So
At
this
that point,
is the story of somebody's fertility challenges and what
mm,
people and family is willing to do to support them.
yes,
Now, we've not talked about the ethics of
yeah,
the entire thing. This may be another kettle of fish altogether.
exactly.
You understand? But yeah, this is what people think they will do to assist one other person to
Achieve
achieve family.
pregnancy.
I do not have problem with that. Essentially, looking at a child, because I know that children bring happiness.
Mm,
Children bring a lot of happiness. You need to
happiness,
see the
true.
happiness in the lives of couples who achieved pregnancy and deliver
Pregnancy.
after going through some period of infertility.
Yes,
I have a
that's
client
true.
who once told me that, Ken, nobody told me that children are this sweet.
Mm, mm,
Seriously, I
mm.
wish I knew that children are this sweet.
Oh no,
Now she doesn't want to wait. She wants to get them back to back
back.
to back
Oh
to
wow.
back. I say, yes, they are sweet.
So it's a lot. It's a lot actually. It's a lot. So dear viewers, it's really been it's should I say it's in a way emotional knowing getting to see what some family members could do. So I was because I know that some people would wonder why are my family members not like this? Why is it only me going through this journey? What do you think are some ways that family members could actually provide support? Now this is more like some people trying to provide. And yes, I also thought the quest to maintain family line,
Mm,
because that's another thing that I think some of these people consider. They want to maintain their family line
mm,
aside the fact that okay, because like the first one I talked
mhm,
about, the woman is not even willing to accept an anonymous donor. She feels like
Uh-huh.
it has to be
Mm-hmm.
somebody she knows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a way some of these family members, they feel like maybe I want to let me be sure that it's my family and
Mm-hmm.
not just somebody from anywhere, just to maintain it that okay, it's within, even though some families have issues, but still they want to still
Mm.
insist on maintaining that family
Yeah.
line.
I've seen a mother who came to the clinic wanting to be a surrogate for her daughter. Yes,
Wow, this is
seriously. A mother want to be a surrogate for her daughter.
wow.
You know, in this case, the daughter had adenomyosis, very advanced grade adenomyosis, frequent miscarriages, difficulty with success in IVF, and all of that. Then she wanted to be a surrogate for her mother. This came to me. So I'm not
Oh,
saying what I didn't
yeah.
experience. You understand?
Wow.
Yes, mother and daughter. A mother wanting to
Goodness.
carry pregnancy for her daughter.
This is deep.
It's quite deep. This is what it
Wow.
is. Yeah.
Wow.
She
Wow.
wanted to do that for her daughter.
Hmm.
So that's
Wow.
how much she cared for her daughter, and wanting to have some sanity in her daughter's house, you know, and so she wanted to be a surrogate for her daughter.
Well, so on a general note, what are some of the ethical considerations that you think should that or that you think should actually be considered when some of these family members are going into this? Because I think it's good for them to also know, because some of them might not really understand where they're going. They're just looking at the emotional part, and they'll say sometimes
Mm,
don't go on the journey with all your brain,
yeah.
but sometimes
So
the
so so so
emotion
you
and
see
all.
you see we in the medical profession
Yeah.
don't dabble into these emotions. Yeah, we understand the story, you know we know what the story is, we know
Yeah.
the emotions behind the story, but we try not to be part of the emotion and
Mm,
don't take decisions based on emotions, okay?
mm,
Because at the end of the day, they are the lay people, we are the
yeah.
experts, so
It's
we just
true.
do what we think is right. Now, every country should have an ethics
Mm,
and a regulation, a guideline that should be followed. So whether the individuals are right or wrong, it is the
yes.
regulation that should be followed,
Followed.
you know, and so those regulations should be followed, and things be done the way they should be
Should be
done,
done.
So I know, for instance, some years ago, I was in Bulgaria, one of
Okay.
the finest fertility center in Bulgaria. There's the Women and Children Hospital,
Okay.
Women Health Hospital
Wow.
in Sofia, Bulgaria. I think I got to find out that egg donation has a strict regulation.
There.
You can only be an egg donor when you have had your own babies.
Wow.
If you don't
Okay.
have babies, you cannot be an egg
Like
donor.
them. Wow.
So that way there's some sanity in the
Yeah.
society. Then I've also trained and passed some time in Italy.
Okay.
Italy, for instance, does not permit surrogacy.
Hmm.
You can't do surrogacy in Italy. You can't do it outside Italy if
Hmm.
you are an
Telling.
Italian.
Wow.
You understand?
Hmm.
So your story may be emotional, it may be the right story, but you cannot breach these regulations.
Evolution.
So it depends on where you're practicing.
Hmm.
Now in Nigeria, there are no regulations. A good number of us, Lagos State has a law.
Okay.
Lagos
Hmm.
State has a law
Yeah.
regulating assisted reproduction technology in the states.
Okay.
Jos Plateau State is working on regulation as we
Okay.
speak right now.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'm one of those who 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 is coordinating
Yeah.
all of that so that the government can be in charge of the practice,
Yeah.
so there are no malpractices, and then there will be
Exactly.
penalty for some form of offenses
Sure.
when they happen. But then ethics need to be put in place. So before these regulations, we have to work with our mother organizations, which is
Mm.
the AFRH, and a good number of us belong to the European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology and American Society of Reproductive Medicine. So we have these laws that
In
we borrow
place.
from those places just to check morality and the
Yes.
ethics of practice. So that's what we put in place. We do not get swayed
By
by
Yeah,
your
emotions.
emotions
Mm,
and do what you want us to do. We have to put everything on the check, because at the end of
control.
the day, you may have to answer questions
Questions,
for
yes,
the
and
kind of
sometimes
practices
when
you
there's
do.
nothing to check, people abuse it a lot.
Exactly.
Exactly. So,
So,
oh, okay. So as we conclude this, what's your general counsel to families? Because I've made a lot of them call up brothers, call up sisters. They might have family members that are struggling with one fertility. What are some ways that you could counsel them to be of support to their family or relatives, yes, when they are going through fertility issues, and what would be your general counsel to them?
well, my counsel will just be support.
Mm,
Support them so long as there is no illegality in what the intentions are. You should support. When you support, you get to know the story. Then you may be the custodian of their story
mm,
in case there is trouble later. But in addition to that, you could help financially, because we've seen
mm.
parents paying the bills for their
Wow, that's
kids,
so. Mm,
paying the bills for their
their kid.
kids to
Mm,
go through all of these kinds of treatments.
treatment. Mm,
Yeah, so
as
pay the
much as.
bills, give them moral support, pray for them if you have to
Mm,
pray, but never criticize them.
yeah, that's one
Never
important one
criticize them, and support them.
in every way.
And while we're struggling for assisted reproduction technology to be accepted, don't make them feel they are doing something
Something,
wrong
yes, that's
by
a
doing
common
assisted
one in
reproduction.
Nigeria, particularly.
People haven't accepted it so widely across the globe, but it's getting
Yes,
more complicated with a lot of branches
yeah.
and a lot of dynamics to it.
Mm.
IVF is meant to be a practice between two people, a male and a
A
female,
female.
or the bringer of egg and the
Bring up
bringer
sperm.
of sperms.
Yeah.
But now we even have a three-man IVF.
Mm.
A baby, I mean, coming about from the coming around of three parents.
Wow. That's so
Three people making one baby.
that
How
child's
does that
life.
sound? You know, if you understand what it means, it sounds very healthy and very welcoming, because you're doing that to avoid a deadly disease condition. And in the United Kingdom, it's constitutional.
Mm.
And then so far we have like 8 babies that have been
Wow.
born by 3 parents.
But their life
So
is complicated.
no, it's not complicated. What makes it complicated?
Dealing with plenty parents.
No, it's not as if you're going to deal with plenty parents.
Mm.
You're going to be dealing with just a regular two parent, but just that in coming up of the baby, 3 people were involved, and usually has to do with mitochondrial transfer,
Mm.
transplant from one egg to the other, which doesn't
Okay.
carry so much genetic
Genetic. Mm.
connotations. Okay,
Mm.
so you avoid a disease condition, as
Mm.
against somebody taking outrightly egg donation, where part of our egg is still
Mm.
good to make a
Yeah.
baby. So this
Mm.
is very deep form of reproduction,
Mm.
and I like such kind of things. I just like such kind of things. Maybe we'll see
Technology.
4 persons baby in the years to come.
Okay, dear viewers, I know you had a good time with us
So
today, and
just support.
oh, yes, support is the word. Just give your family members all the support you can give them to see that they are able to achieve their fertility dreams. It's been good having you guys stay with us today, and we see you all. Thank you all for joining. Okay, I can see a question from Bethel, but then would attend to the question on a private chat for the sake of our time. It's been amazing having you, dear viewers, today. And we look forward to seeing you in our left session next time. Have a lovely evening. Bye.